Former Civil Aviation Minister Praful Patel, who has also been indicted by the CAG report on Air India, speaks exclusively to Times Now. He says that the report does not indict anyone and that what the report has said are mere observations.
Mr. Praful Patel, but would you admit that actually it was you who directed the Air India to reopen that entire acquisition deal? That at least, would you agree?
Absolutely not. It was based on a review meeting conducted by everybody. Has anybody sent a dissent note that this is not the gist of a meeting? A meeting is not of an individual. A meeting is of a large number of people who are all associated with a decision. And the minutes which you are referring to are minutes which are drawn after discussion.
They'll turn around and say, Mr. Patel, that we had to agree with the 10 days.
That is what...
We had to agree by 30th.
That is what you say. Anyway, that is what you say, and as I say, I am no more the minister, and I am sure these are all public records available with the ministry, and I am sure the Public Accounts Committee would have also been hearing this question and answer between you and me, and I am sure, and I myself, I am offering that I will write these relevant questions which have been raised by you to the minister, that please answer this before the Public Accounts Committee. I offer it myself.
Mr. Patel, I hope you take a few more questions. Question here is this, Mr. Patel.
Sure, I will.
I again say that you have, before becoming a politician, full-time politician, you have been an extremely successful business person. Would any business person with the same sense of responsibility, and I am attracting your attention to page number 10 Roman 3.2 in the executive summary, so that you don't accuse me later of reading from the CAG report. I am reading from the CAG report.
Sure, go ahead. I have no
I attract your attention to the 5th point on that page. It says, if indeed the government was agreeable to a full-scale aircraft acquisition in the national interest, it should have acknowledged that such an acquisition would have involved substantive negative cash flows based on reasonable and real assumptions. Where were the reasonable and real assumptions made, Mr. Patel? Not only were they not made, the terms of the deal did not give us an exit clause. We didn't have a really exit option. We had to take the aircraft.
No, while you say what is written in the report, there is no doubt what's written here. But the fact is that all assumptions on revenues and all projections are made by the airlines. Now, you can't expect the minister or the ministry to know exactly what is the projection of every single aspect of aviation and how the airline is run, whatever they give us. And then remember, after the Ministry of Civil Aviation, it goes...
Are you saying Mr. Tulsithasan is responsible?
Within the airline, of course, whether it's Mr. Tulsidas or you're talking about the Indian Airlines assumptions, I think. And I think whoever were there, they should be the people who will be able to tell you. But the fact is that these assumptions also get vetted beyond the ministries. They go to the PIB, they go to Ministry of Finance, they go to the Planning Commission. What are all these other agencies doing? Why is the onus of everything being put on to the Ministry of Civil Aviation? There are many layers of...
Because you were an extremely active minister.
And Mr. Praful Patel, the onus is being put on you because your ministry letter, which quotes you as chairing a meeting, also notes in the minutes that CMD Air India was of the view that although the present proposal did not fully cater to the requirement of Air India fleet, the additional requirements of aircraft could be processed separately through a supplementary proposal after due evaluation, etc.
Exactly.
However, after due deliberations, it was felt that it may not be advisable or prudent to go through the pre-PIB and PIB exercise in two separate stages. So, in this entire meeting, where there were some objections and concerns that were being expressed by the Air India Managing Director, you overruled him.
No, I did not. That is self-explanatory, because in government, as I said, you have to go through several layers of decision making, and the PIB is like a project investment board. They do not decide in piecemeal. They will take a holistic view based on the overall requirements and the long-term requirements. And please read in that, it also says looking at the requirements for the next 15 years or so. It doesn't talk about immediate requirements only for tomorrow. You see, that's why I'm saying when you people read anything, any document, I'd appreciate, while it is true what you have stated, it also should be looked at in the perspective of a 15-year cycle. It's not being looked upon for 1 day or 2 days.
But at the same time, Mr. Patel, you can't push it to 15 years. There has to be some responsibility that you take as a minister of what you can achieve within the timeline that you have at your disposal. I know governments aren't really elected for 15 years, and I'm sure you wouldn't want to be civil aviation minister for 15 years. My question to you is, Mr. Patel, allow me to complete, sir. Question to you, Mr. Patel, is this. Please take my question, sir. Please take my question, sir. My question to you, Mr. Patel, is this. I again say, you've been a business person before you became a politician, a fairly successful business person. Question here is this. You make expenditure, you incur expenditure. After incurring the expenditure, you have to take responsibility for the performance of the product for which the expenditure is incurred. The product here is Air India. You take responsibility for getting the expenditure cleared. But if I were to ask you today, and I invite your attention to Roman page number 15 of this executive summary, it says very clearly that while earlier only certain routes, North America, UK, Southeast Asia, were incurring losses, by 2005, by 2009 and 2010, all the routes were loss-making. In other words, the aircraft performance, operational viability, performance of the management, it tanked in the period that the expenditure was planned for. What use are those aircraft going to be, Mr. Patel, now? And will you say for that also we should ask Air India?
If you read the whole report, that's why I'm saying, if you read the whole report, the problems of Air India have been stated at various levels. Within external environment like ATF prices in 2008, the global recession, many other issues have been pointed out. I can only tell you that government took these decisions, or supported rather. This is not a decision of the government. The government's decision was to support the decision taken by Air India and see it through, because this is a way public sector enterprises acquisition proposals have to be cleared. It's not that, given as you put it to me as a businessman, I would be the last person to want to interfere or want to take a decision on behalf of a company. It should be best left to the company, let them take a decision and let them earn the money to pay back for whatever they have decided. It is unfortunate that in government these decisions have to be cleared because it is a public sector undertaking. And having said that, all I can tell you is that there are many issues. They have, if you read the whole report, the problems of Air India are not limited only to the acquisition of aircraft or some other issues which sometimes come up in the media. The fact is that they have chronic problems, they have a high wage structure, they have a lot of other issues including their operational inefficiencies, and that is why the entire issue of the financial health of Air India has to be looked at holistically, not just in the limited perspective of airplanes having been bought.
No.
And please explain to me.
I agree with you. Yes,
on that
please explain to me.
Mr. Patel.